Welcome to the Mesonet Weather Report. I'm Wes Lee. As we move into the new year, it is still apparent that the La Nina weather pattern has a firm grip on us. During La Nina events, we typically see warmer than normal and drier than normal conditions in the southern plains. You can see on this graph the La Nina periods by the blue lines pointing downward. We are continuing into our third winter in a row, or a triple dip La Nina pattern. And true to form, you can see on this map from midweek just how little rainfall we have had since the first of the year. On a statewide basis, the blue line shown here would be the normal rainfall during this period, while the red, almost flat line shows what little has actually fell for the year as of Tuesday. Temperatures have been even more inflated recently, as illustrated by this map of highs on Tuesday. There were a few record-breaking temps in the far southern counties. The high temperature line chart shows in red that every single day since the first of the year was above normal, some days by as much as 25 degrees. Short term, expect the heat to continue. Longer term, La Nina is still projected to return to a normal pattern by early spring. Now here's Gary with the latest drought maps.
Thanks, Wes, and good morning, everyone. Well, those good rains we've had over parts of the state over the last 60 to 90 days really are starting to wash out in this current dry spell. We can take a look back at the current water year, which started on October 1st, 2022, and see where we stand going back those few months. Well, we have lots of really good colors on this Mesonet map. Again, that's about 102 days going back to October 1st, 2022. It is the beginning of the water year, as I said. We can see some of those values down across parts of southeastern Oklahoma from 12 to 14 inches, a little bit higher in some cases. And then as we go northwest, it of course starts to diminish quite rapidly. It goes from 6 to 7 inches across the I-44 corridor, down to 4 to 5 inches as we get up into the northwestern parts of the state. And finally, less than 2 inches to less than an inch as we get into far northwestern Oklahoma and the western panhandle. So some really good colors on there, but how does that stack up to normal? Let's take a look at that departure from normal map for that same time frame. Well, the greens are the good colors, and the light green are not so bad colors. Much of the southern part of the state has at least a little bit of a surplus, but at most we're talking about an inch or two in some cases, and we get a little bit higher from 3 to 4. And then over in far eastern Oklahoma, in the Salisaw area, they have a 5.2 inch surplus. But for the most part, we are below normal in the rainfall over that time frame. But this time of year, we can expect different amounts in different parts of the state. So let's take a look at the percent of normal values down across southwest Oklahoma. Those surpluses amounted to close to 150% of normal in some cases. Now across the southeast and up into eastern Oklahoma, just a little bit there on the surplus side. Much of the rest of the state below normal, less than 100% of normal, but then again, when you get up into the far northwestern parts of the state, they're less than 50% of normal, and out in the panhandle, in a lot of cases, they're less than 25% of normal. So really drastically dry conditions across that northern part of the state, especially up in northwestern Oklahoma. What's that mean for the newest drought monitor map this week? Well, not much, about the same picture. We are in the cool season, so we're not seeing rapid changes, but we definitely didn't see any improvements this week either. Unfortunately, we're still in the driest part of the year. It's a couple of months to spring, so hopefully we can get some rainfall in here before then. That's it for this time. We'll see you next time on the Mesonet Weather Report.